Live at lunch.
You are looking live.
Live at lunch. Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
What the hell's going on out here?
Now, here's Jimmy Ott and Charles Hannegriff.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live? Is it live?
From Modesto, tacos, tequila, whiskey, right here at the corner of Burbank and Nicholson, right adjacent to Walk-Ons. Welcome to the Wednesday edition Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charles Hannegriff, Jimmy Ott, Max Gotro back off assignment. You've been scouting soccer stuff?
I have. I'm diving in deep on the World Cup here in the last few days.
You know, I didn't know that any event outside of Auburn football or maybe Garth Brooks or something like that could fill Jordan-Hare Stadium, but that was a cool scene.
That Morgan Wallen guy's pretty hot.
Yeah,
right
the big musical acts, I guess I should say. But that was a really cool thing to see last night, and the reaction of the Argentinian soccer players, well, really both teams, but to see their reaction to is like, wow, are you kidding? And they let the eagle go.
War Eagle flew, the light show, the LEDs were going. I watched a little bit of it on ESPN, so it was televised as
Messi
well.
played. Yeah.
Messi played. There was the European fans were quite amazed by the scenes at that. They played swag surfing at one point, which I did see a tweet, which was funny. That hits different when you're not coming off of 4 straight 3-and-outs on offense. The sound and the light show is a little bit more fun when it's a good environment like that.
I don't know if it surprised me, but the reaction of the soccer players, they routinely play in stadiums of that size.
No.
Even bigger.
Ethan's been over there and toured them, in England, and they're not as big as SEC venues.
No, I'm talking about South America.
Oh, okay. I thought we were still talking about Jordan-Hare.
Yeah, well, Jordan-Hare,
because they do tours of their stadiums, and they're cool to see. The different clubs in England and stuff, but they're not as big as the Tiger Stadium.
In South America, some of them are.
The Mexico cities is.
Well, the difference is, the Argentinian fans are probably used to this. Some of the players, not necessarily.
Haven't seen this.
Because, a lot of these players play in European, the big European clubs.
88,000 last night. I mean, that's a
now
that's full house.
Messi's used to it. At Barcelona, there's big crowds there. But, some of these players for Argentina, not so much. Not in terms of big crowds. Like Liverpool, for example, one of their players, Alexis McAllister, plays for them. About 65,000, 70,000.
I was just surprised. Do you think they could put 88,000 in Tiger Stadium? I don't mean will it fit. Do you think they would draw that for Messi? I don't either.
No. I think you would get a large contingent outside of
close. Oh, yeah, but I don't think it'll be 88.
And I understand this is unique circumstances with the World Cup starting in the United States this week, and you have the biggest soccer star in the world, Messi.
I think I think you'd get 88,000.
Okay,
actually.
well,
I think
Messi getting the offense coordinator's job at Auburn. They scored just as many points there as Hugh Freeze did his last game against Kentucky.
Hugh Freeze was an easy target.
He could be
Jimmy,
he could be the second down offensive.
Oh, that's true.
Got to have 3 of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought that was cool. I can't tell you I watched very much of the match.
They're calming down on the prices after just shooting for the moon. They're calming down on the prices.
Not exactly. The thought is basically the day or two before you're going to see a big dip down because there are a lot of seats available at these venues. So if you look at the secondary market, while the prices are still high, there's still a lot available. So at some point you're going to have to sell these and you have to go down.
Yeah, my broker does not let me get tickets until the day of the event. I mean, it just
That's my go-to suggestion for anyone. I've done it a lot. I've
Patience,
done a lot of secondary
grasshopper.
market. Wait as late as you can.
But you're talking about people coming from other countries without a ticket kind of deal.
There also have been some other fan bases. I've heard some personal stories about struggling to get here with visas and whatnot. So that may also be a factor in terms of some tickets opening up.
I didn't talk to Nigel, but I heard him and saw some of his stuff. My colleague and friend from Bet Rivers and from England, who spent We hung out with him and his wife and niece and stuff like that, for that tournament in Monte Carlo. But he really feels that the unders are in play because of the heat, because of it's going to be a little bit of a battle of attrition, because they're just not used to this type of heat in some of these venues that they're going to have down here. He, just going to be a bit slower pace.
That and also the fields. They're going to be real grass fields, but these players are used to much more.
A faster track or a slower track?
Just better. They saw these in, right? There's some seams. There have already been some complaints at some of these friendly matches about the turf conditions just not being to their standards that they're used to, and that these American, Central American, even U.S. players would be more used to playing in these rolled out grass surfaces.
So in the U.S., we've got, in England or Europe, they have substandard NFL surfaces where they're slipping all the time because there's 300-pound guys slipping instead of 175-pound guys.
Sometimes we have that in the Super Bowl here.
And then when they bring in a new turf, it doesn't have a chance to root.
Right.
It's things like that. And we've seen in the past as well. Like I was tempted to see, is the NFL PA going to use this as, well, look, you've got grass fields for the World Cup in SoFi Stadium and AT&T Stadium in Arlington, and Houston is going to have a grass stadium. And it felt like the NFLPA might use this and be like, look, they can do it for the World Cup. Why can't you do it for us? I would just say...
Wait a minute. In Phoenix, they play on grass during the season?
Phoenix, they do, but I'm talking about
Houston,
some of the
they
turf
don't?
ones.
They slide the grass outside Arizona.
So the NFLPA might argue, we need grass in these stadiums. You can do it for the World Cup. However, I would just worry.
You're saying they don't play on grass in Houston?
The Texans play on turf.
It's on turf.
It's on artificial turf.
Phoenix plays on grass.
Phoenix
because they slide it outside.
Okay, but you're saying grass. You keep saying grass.
Most indoors play on turf, not grass.
Well, it's retractable. NRG's not retractable?
It's slightly. It does open a little bit. It got damaged in a hurricane, but
Arlington is turf.
Arlington's turf as well, but they're going to be grass for the World Cup, and so the NFLPA could point to this and be like,
right.
look, you can do this. However, I worry that if players are slipping, if they complain about the turf, that might backfire a little bit.
We're lumping them all together because, Arizona's grass, but the other two in Texas are not.
Yeah, but SoFi's turf as well. The other thing Nigel mentioned, he is actually a little bit optimistic about the U.S.'s chances because of the weather.
Here we go, baby. Here we go, Charlie. Here we go.
A lot of it is not about the team itself. He was complimentary of the team, but most of it was the setup. You talked about the weather. They're used to it. They also have – this is not a coincidence, Jimmy. They're playing 2 matches in SoFi indoors, the U.S.
They're playing – it's covered, but it's open.
Yeah.
It's open.
As we remember in the lightning delay one time on Monday Night Football. Mm-hmm. And then in Seattle. So they're not getting the Miami game. They're not getting these hot air.
They should want
New
that
York.
because the Europeans aren't used to this weather as much as the Americans.
It would affect them longer term. It's going to, it might not affect their opponent, but it could have helped them in a run. And he also believes that, look, FIFA, if you think they're corrupt, like a lot of people do, the host nations might get some calls. They might get some penalties.
They got a good draw.
Whatnot.
He likes them to go at least to 16, and he said probably the quarters.
Well,
I've heard it before. They're healthy now. It's all here. I told you it was coming. And then we're going to sit there and we lose to Ghana. Oh, wait.
Well,
the coach. It's the coach. It's this. It's that. I've been hearing about the U.S. men's soccer team is on the uprise for 40 years.
Their defense
for 40 years, Max.
Their defense
that's
is not
older
very
than
good,
you.
Jimmy. Their defense is not very good right now, and their goalkeeper. That's typically a strength of the U.S. team, right? You think of Tim Howard over the years.
I don't know if Tim Howard's top 10 or top 100 goalies in the world.
He was one of the few players that played in Europe at the time. They're weak defensively, but the setup for them is good longer term. Who they might match up with if they win their group, if they come in second even. But winning their group will be important. They got to get off to a good start with a win against Paraguay.
We have made progress. We beat Trinidad and Tobago.
That's
yes,
helpful. We're in the World Cup.
We qualified for the World Cup.
We automatically qualified
everybody.
this time.
how many teams in it this year? Is
48.
it as opposed to
32. It's expanded. It's a different format.
You didn't criticize it. You know what I mean?
I don't like
the purity of the World Cup.
I don't like it.
Yep.
You're going to see third-place teams that are not very good get advanced to the round of 32.
I love Nigel. You know what he calls the extras, the extra 16? Quite a few minnows.
I think that's fair. You're going to see some minnows
They're so
advance
colorful with their
too.
commentary.
I wish that
quite a few minnows.
I wish
Charlie.
I was going into this with when the United States won the hockey gold in '80. I was 9 years old, and I didn't know that they were underdogs. I just rooted for them blindly, which is what I usually do when it's a sport I don't know anything about in the Olympics or like soccer. I just root for the U.S. blindly. But unfortunately, I know that they don't have. I don't know much about soccer strategy and all that stuff, or I know who the favorites are. The U.S. doesn't have a top 100 player. If you're in a tournament with 48 teams and you don't have a top 100 player, it's probably going to be hard for you to win regardless of the sport. So if they do, and maybe that hockey team, maybe their best player, Johnson, the center, or Craig, the goalie, or, might have been a top 50 player in that Olympics. I don't know. I know that they were vast underdogs, the U.S. vast underdogs here. We're going to root for them blind.
We'll talk to Randy, but from what I'm understanding, and I'm kind of appreciating more and more of the NHL playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs, and you could just drop you on the earth for like the last 2 weeks and have an appreciation for this Stanley Cup Finals. I mean, it's the first time ever in the Stanley Cup Finals that both teams have scored at least 3 goals in every game. And that's unbelievable. I mean, that's action. I mean, it is popping, and you can see they're beating the crap out of each other. I mean, we could see the physicality of it, even on TV, which everybody says TV does its no justice. But they all say, it's like a hot pitcher, Charlie. It's not exact, but Skip, dominant pitching, you got no answer for that. I mean, you got no answer. I mean, a hot goal. Craig was unbelievable. Craig was super.
He was fantastic.
I did get a kick out of the commercial because we're seeing some of the World Cup commercials and the guys at the ball. Yeah, okay. The U.S. They got a guy dreaming about winning a goal, winning World Cup and stuff like that. And they're looking at the guy in the bar. He goes, "You don't believe in miracles? It's a Ruzioni."
Nice.
Yeah, it's
nice.
a Ruzioni.
I actually watched last night. The first time. I don't know, 5 years. I can't even tell you last time. I sat down and watched the hockey game from start to finish last night. The Vegas Golden Knights, Carolina. And not only did I watch it, my wife sat down and started watching it with me. She could care less about hockey. We're watching, and, during the commercials, you switch over to something else. So during the period break, we switched over to, I don't know, Big Bang Theory or whatever it was. And she's like, 5 minutes later, she goes, "Make sure we don't miss the hockey." I'm not making it such. Make sure we don't miss the hockey, the restart for the third period. It was that good. And we're not giant hockey fans. That was fun to watch last night.
I don't know how many years ago when we first put Colucci on, and so people start, and it's summer now. It's summer now. We can sit here and say, "Oh, you got 4." We know it's 60-something days till football season. Okay, you want to just sit here and talk about the whole thing? I don't understand recruiting and the roster building and you got stuff, but they got things going on. Whether it's golf, whether it's the World Cup, whether it's MLB, they're playing things, man. And this hockey, they basically, Charlie, they had to make a switch. Because at goalie, you just hate, the former player who they all respect for Carolina, and he put in basically a guy that's been in the minor leagues for 5 years and just got called up a couple of months ago, and they're starting him at pitcher in Game 4 when you're down 2-1 on the road. And he wasn't great, but just good enough. Just good enough because they're out shooting. We know about that. Shots on goal. Okay. Yeah. They're out shooting Vegas, but Vegas is man, the place is going crazy. It's pretty good, man.
I don't need to be a hockey aficionado to know that if the guy is falling down and flips the puck right over the goalie's shoulder for what ends up being the margin, that's an unbelievable play. That's not something you see.
Horrendous. And the star of the Stanley Cup, the goalie, the star of the Vegas Golden Knights, LVK, since the new coach has come over, he's the one that put hard in, and they have ridden him, and he's their Oral Hershiser, he's their Bumgarner. You take your pick of the hot pitcher, you're just riding. down the stretch, and he saved it because it was a horrible turnover, keeping their own zone,
right.
and it's just kind of this gimmick type of thing. So
I did
it's even to the most novice of hockey observers like ourselves, and it's pretty fun.
If that had been a basketball game, I watched the basketball game.
Basketball's fun too.
But the hockey game was great last night.
I had to record a show this morning with some Canadian reporters and whatnot from Toronto. I was shocked they were talking about, well, I didn't even pay attention to it. Nobody really cares about it right now. I guess that's because Canada's out at this point, but I'm like, where are you?
Okay,
when y'all
win,
the LSU baseball fan that isn't watching.
When y'all win, don't tell me it's a big deal because our team's not in it. So don't tell me it's a big deal.
It's the LSU baseball fan that doesn't watch the World Series. Yeah. It's got to matter when you're not in it, and I was shocked by that.
Speaking of home cooking for the U.S. men's team, FIFA, come on, let's keep the home team going. Let's give us some home cooking. Let's just fall, get a foul, penalty kick or whatever
it is.
Red
card, get them out.
Man, these Knicks fans are crying for some more home cooking. Max, we talk about it. You can't. How do you defend him? You can't defend him. How do you defend Wemby? What's your approach? What did I tell you?
Got to be physical.
Got to bang him. Are they not banging him? Are they not banging him?
Yeah, well, they did a better job of banging him in the first two games than the third one, but yes.
He gave it back.
Charlie, they were in the penalty 2 minutes into the fourth quarter because they wrapping his arm up and this and that. Jose's just throwing himself in between when he's going to.
The first 3 buckets of the game he got were uncontested dunks. So it wasn't the whole game.
They're banging him.
No, they are banging. They did a better job in the first 2 games than the third.
He got
game.
frustrated.
Now they want a tight whistle. All the fans.
Oh.
Probably was a flagrant on Brunson. I mean.
He should have.
Second time.
I'm surprised the league didn't find him when they went back and looked at it.
They didn't find him in the last one.
Wow.
When he
if they would have fined him for hitting Brunson in the back of the head, that would have been justified, in my opinion. Last time we were here, Modesto was the Cinco de
was
Mayo.
A big hit. Cinco de Mayo was a big hit over here.
4th of July is going to be another big hit.
4th of July specials just around the corner, and we've got some specials. $10 Modesto margaritas for 4th of July, $3 imports domestic beer. 4th of July is on a Saturday, right?
Yes.
How about that? $3 imports, $3 domestic beer cans, Corona, Modelo, Especial, Dos Equis, Michelob Ultra, $10 dip trios, little beans, the queso, and guacamole. Game day specials, the brisket birria burger, that's basically a brisket burger, and game day nachos, and the brisket fries, the birria fries. $10% off online orders if you use a promo code America. So 4th of July specials, and you get that's gallons of margaritas, tailgate family and tailgate fajita party packs. I mean, you're celebrating by the pool. Don't go empty-handed. Call up and order online and get 10% off. Use the promo code America. That's our 4th of July specials here at Modesto on Burbank, just off of Nicholson.
Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
With Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
And we return here at Modesto live at lunch. Remember, you can always get the show on demand, 104.5 ESPN.com, LouisianaSports.net. It's brought to you by Supreme Rice. SupremeRice.com, celebrating 90 years in business here in 2026. Again, supporting our Louisiana farmers. Go to SupremeRice.com. Jimmy, how far are we? How many weeks away are we from the All-Star game? Like 3? We're gonna be
say mid-July. So probably about a month.
4. Okay.
July 14th.
I suggested we both did at the beginning of the season that the Pirates bullpen would be something that they would have to address.
I didn't know before the season.
Well,
it was
pretty
pretty
early
early.
Of the season. Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty early.
And we said, okay, the Pirates bullpen, they've added some offensive weapons. That's better. They've got to. The bullpen's going to be a problem. All 3 games against the Braves, the last 3 days before yesterday, they had a lead, and the Braves came back and beat them in all 3. Last night's may have been the most horrific implosion of the bullpen yet. Paul Skeens started, which is why we're paying attention, why I'm paying attention anyway.
Well, I mean, it's fun to pull for the. I mean, and they're the Pirates. You're pulling for them. I mean, the inevitables come in. He goes to the Dodgers or goes to the Yankees, and then he's playing on the win. But it'd be cool for him to lift the Pirates up,
right?
And they have a chance.
If he was in Tampa or he was in Arizona, I'd still be pulling for Paul Skeens. But so we're paying attention to the Pirates. Last night against the Dodgers, fairly well financed payroll, yes. Yeah. They have a 2-2 game going to the 7th inning. Skeens threw his 100 pitches, gave up his 2 runs in 6 innings. Okay, that's really good. Then they gave up 10 in the 7th inning. 10. So this is 4 straight games that the Pirates have had a lead, and 4 straight games. Now, they haven't all been in the latter innings, but they have had a lead in all 3 games against the Braves, and now this game against the Dodgers. All right, the Braves have the best record in baseball. The Dodgers have the best payroll in baseball. These are the 2 teams that, okay, if you're going to get to the World Series in the National League, you're going to see these 2 teams. Well, they took a lead all 4 games, lost all 4 of them, and last night in spectacular fashion. So I said right around the All-Star break, a move for the bullpen. Might want to accelerate that time frame.
Well, it's part of, we talk about it all the time. And we fight all the time about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, is he good? He's good. Well, look, he's a starter in Wade Ball. He's a Super Bowl MVP. But I mean, my goodness, he doesn't have exactly Pittsburgh Pirates supporting cast.
No.
I mean, what was it last year? It was a lack of run support. It was a lineup. They're the top 5 in Major League Baseball in runs scored.
Say that again, because I don't think most people would
Number
believe that.
5 exactly.
Yeah.
Today.
Didn't have that stat.
There were like
didn't
28. Last year, how many games did he have 0 or 1? It was Jacob deGrom-esque type of run support, the Mets or lack thereof, in his Cy Young. Look, speaking of runs scored, the Dodgers are number 2 in Major League Baseball in runs scored and number 1 in team ERA. I mean, they're loaded.
Sure.
They're loaded. They're the favorite. It's going to be big rainstorm, though. Massive rainstorm. They played through it. It was just kind of – it hit. They never put the tarp on, but it chased Skeens. He was up 2-0 because they hit 2 solo shots off the Dodgers pitcher. I forget who was pitching for the Dodgers last night, but he settled down, and that was the part when they got to it. But, yes, it's 2-2 going to 7th in a 10 spot. And so this bullpen is really, really bad. I don't know if they're last. I don't think they're last. Keep in mind, they lost Bednar, who'd been there for a long time. You know how closers go. They go in peaks and valleys, so it kind of wore out his welcome a little bit. But here's a guy who's pitching on the World Baseball Classic team for the U.S. The Yankees picked him up. He's thought of, that much. So it has been a rough – they cured one problem, but then they got another one. And it's been a disaster, the bullpen. Skeens gave up the lead pretty quickly, too. And this is a better one, but he hasn't been himself the last 5 starts.
No, this was better than the last
better
couple.
Than the last four.
Yeah, not what we expect out of him. Last night was fine.
The Pirates' team ERA for a bullpen is actually just 19th. It seems like it'd be worse than that.
It is. They have blown. It is. That is. I would have thought they would have been bottom 5.
Now, there's a difference in team ERA for a bullpen and
how many blown saves?
I think that's
how many blown saves have they?
That's a better one. I'll try to find that one for the year.
And see, and it's a good stat, but it wouldn't apply last night. They've got a 2-2 game with the Dodgers. They give up 10 in the 7th.
No, Skeens. I don't know when they got the second run. I think it was pretty early. I know they got the first run.
They got the second one in the 6th. I'm sorry, the Pirates got the 2 in the 1st, and the Dodgers got 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 6th.
Well, he blew the save. That's a save opportunity. He gave up the lead after the 5th inning.
But just to tie it.
Yeah. That's well. If you come in the 9th inning and you got the lead and they tie it at the end of the 9th, that's a blown save. You don't have to get a loss to blow a save.
If the game is tied, you're saying that Dotel gets a blown save.
Do you get a blown save after the 5th inning, or it doesn't have to be the 9th?
But
it could be the 8th.
But the game was tied when the guy came in.
No. Right. Skeens gave up the lead. So, I mean, he's not in relief, I understand, but he gave up the lead. But no, it's not a blown save for Skeens. I'm saying he blew the lead.
Yeah, he gave up one run.
So it's not a save opportunity when it comes.
No, that's what I'm saying. This is not a save opportunity.
If it comes in the 7th, you're 3-2. That's still a blown save.
That happened against
Atlanta. blown leads. But when does the official blown save come into play?
If you have a save opportunity and you give up the lead,
is it the 4th? Is it the 8th?
No, it's got to be.
Does it have to be the 5th?
The
after
7th, because you
7th or later,
you can get a three inning save no matter what the lead is.
Okay. So it's
and if it's a 3-run lead, and
so
you
it has
give
to
it
be
up,
the 7th.
Okay. The 7th, yeah.
Okay.
If it's more than.
Were they in blown saves, Max?
Just in terms of blown leads is all I can find, which could be a lead at any game.
Okay.
But it does give you an idea, I guess. They are tied for 6th in the MLB with the most blown leads at 17. 17 games where they've had the lead at any point and lost.
They've blown a lot of leads. Halfway point of the season this weekend for the Pirates. You get to 81. It's time.
What's their record right now? They're just
34 and 33.
They're still over 500.
And they're just
that division is crumbled a little bit. Remember how everybody was over 500?
Right.
I mean, Chicago is terrible. Chicago's playing garbage right now, and they can't win a game. The Cubs
have the same record as the Pirates. They both have game out of the wild card.
The wild card makes it interesting, but man, it is a problem. It has been a problem for most of the season. Don't forget our friends at the Legacy Title, Chad Reynolds Legacy Title, for all of your real estate closings. 296-0060, full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Our long-standing staff, our team, man, has been there for a long time. Execute your deals seamlessly. Our great team, Ashley Donald, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt, Mariana Haynes, Natalie and Bradford Smith. Buying, building, or financing, nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds, Legacy Title, 296-0060.
Live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Uh-oh, they let the big dog out.
Boom! Out of nowhere.
It's time for the big dog, Randy McKay, with his best picks.
Big dog, what's going on, my man?
I'm excited. I'm going to a rock and roll concert tonight. I'll give you guys a couple clues. The band's from Georgia, and their main song, they play with a chainsaw.
Wait a minute now. From Georgia?
Think of your youth, yeah.
Chainsaw.
Well, the first thing I think of bands from Atlanta. I mean, REM doesn't.
REM's from Athens.
They don't play.
He's
anymore.
He's not talking about the REM or the B-52s here, Charlie. No. Athens or Green on Red or the Georgia Satellites. No, I mean, who are you talking about, big dog? Ludacris.
The band is Jackal.
Kennesaw, Georgia.
No, I knew he was in that metal dog. You know, I knew that. So, where you going to see him? Sturgis, huh?
No, this is 2 miles north, almost to the Canadian border in Carlstead, Minnesota. So, not a place you guys would like to do a show from in the winter.
No, but talk to us in July.
Hey,
not perfect there now.
We're talking about this hockey, man. It's kind of winning. It's over. What makes, besides the close games, both teams have scored at least 3 goals in all 4 games. It's 2-2 now. The puck line only came into play one time, and that was an empty netter very late last night. So every game is close, and we can see that there, the physicality of it, and the effort. I mean, anybody can notice that. But give me from a hockey, much more knowledgeable hockey guy, what makes this finals as good as it appears, or is it indeed this good?
Yeah, it is really good. Of course, it's kind of throwing me for a loop. I thought it'd be a little low scoring team with these two teams, but and open ice and some shaky defense, some shaky goaltending, and precision shots by some of these players just makes it amazing. So, it's right up there. I mean, like I told people, this reminds me of, kind of Boston versus St. Louis back in the day where all the road teams won, or, look at some of those other big matchups where we had the Blackhawks versus Pittsburgh. Another one comes to mind. That was real open ice with Kane and Taves and Crosby and Malkin, and that was a fun one to watch. And and some of those. So it definitely reminds me of some of those, and just that we'll probably get 3 more games of this. So buckle up. I mean, it's looking like a really fun series.
It sure looked like it, and I guess they had to try and do something in the nets for Carolina, and just even maybe to sit, to kind of pull your starting quarterback out for a series or two, or just to kind of refresh him. But man, this 5-year minor league goalie or whatever, and he gets Bussy, he gets it, but boy, it looked like it was with smoke and mirrors. I don't know if they can continue to put this guy in there. Randy, tell me if I'm reading this wrong, because if he's back in the net again, I'm going on the other side. And they survived it last night, but it seems like I don't know what I'm looking at. He just looks like he's a little sloppier than most in the net.
Yeah, and he's a left-handed goalie too, which makes it a little. Mitch Marner missed that penalty shot and didn't know they even had a different goalie in there till I guess he was on the breakaway there. And then, a left-handed goalie is a little different, and the blockers on the other side and the gloves on the other side. So that, players got to adjust to this. And I think you'll see the Golden Knights expose some of his weaknesses. I used to remember him in college at Western Michigan, of course, following college hockey. And he was pretty decent there. But moving up from college hockey to the pros is no easy task. And I think the Vegas Knights will still have. Hart didn't play well the last few games or in this series, but I could see him stepping up much like he did later in the series against Utah and against Anaheim, where he did step up and almost had the shutout. So I could see maybe one of them games out of him.
I learned something last night. It had never occurred to me a left-handed goalie would make a difference. It's not something I ever thought about. I mean, I know why left-handed guys can't play third base. It never occurred to me with the goalie, so I learned something last night.
Yeah, first. Oh no, you want him at first base. You said third base.
Yeah, you can't play.
Right,
play third base.
Right. How close is it to a pitcher in like the World Series or the playoffs? I mean, does it can a hot goalie or and talk about a Hart? I mean, the Carolina killed that penalty, and then the guy's coming onto the ice, and all of a sudden he's got a breakaway. That was a hell of a save. Is he struggling, or is Carolina just that relentless on offense?
Yeah, Carolina's proven this year to be, in past years too. I mean, we made it to you got to remember they lost to really good Florida teams in the Stanley or in the Eastern Conference Finals. So I mean, they're battle tested, and they've kind of gotten over the hump so far this year as far as getting to the Stanley Cup and then having a shot here to win. So, anything can happen here. And, Stahl's really on a roll here, and he's looking like maybe a upset here for the Conn Smythe if they win it. But, getting back to Bussy, the only other really, Hall of Fame goalie I can think of that was left-handed was Tom Barrasso. So if you want to go back in the archives, he's really good for Pittsburgh over the years.
All right, who you liking tomorrow night's game? Carolina minus 55, Golden Knights plus 130, 6.5 the total. All 4 have gone over.
Yeah, I'm going to stick to the Vegas Knights here, getting the nice plus price. Like I said before, I think they'll expose Bussy here, get to him, and I think we can see a good game out of Carter Hart and their defense. Their defense, some sloppy turnovers too that I didn't get to. That caused a problem, especially the third period goal that took the lead there for Carolina. So I can see some buckling down there and seeing some opportunities. And the Vegas Knights have had some breakaways, so that's I can't see Bussy maybe stopping some of those. So favor the Golden Knights for sure. Not so sure yet on the total. You can play it. If you want to play an under, I mean, you can do it at your own risk here because it's just really been tough to get one in.
I mean, you don't even have a sweat with these unders, man, in this thing. Not even close. Mitch Marner is the favorite to win the Conn Smythe at minus 105. Taylor Hall plus 380, and he was. I'm sorry. No, Jordan Stahl is plus 50. They got the game winner last night. Is that right? That's right. Huh? Stahl got the game winner on his belly last night, right, Randy?
Yeah, he had 2 goals last night, and he's been like almost 4-1 to score a goal, and that might be another, prop somebody wants to look at again. And either him to score, or on the other side, I can't think of that other winger for Vegas that's been scoring all the goals. Big game, Brett Howden. I couldn't think of his name off the top of my head, but yeah, maybe look at him to score as well.
All right, Jackal, let's get to the NFL, your specialty here, and let's. Where are we in some research? I got the some of the future odds pulled up and some stuff like that. What do you, what you got cooking early on in your NFL, handicapping?
Yeah, just the first couple weeks there, I made some bets there the first week on first NFL Week 1 games that I saw some lines that had some little advantages. Of course, if you're looking around at different sports books, you can find some different lines, and I found some there in North Dakota. Of course, you got to be at the casino to bet, so it's a little different. It's off the kiosk and no phones, so that's a little frustrating. And then I, of course, jumped on that, and then week 2 I did give out a couple recommendations as far as looking at some bad teams to have good week 2 and good situations, and then I did make a future bet on the Rams there when they got the trade there, so I got an 8-1 locked up on them. So slowly but surely getting back into looking at the NFL and getting ready for the big season coming up.
Hey, Randy, fill us in on the advertising that DraftKings is doing right now, where their app is available in all of the states now. The prediction markets are now available on there. They got horse racing available in different states. I was in Mississippi over there, couldn't do it. They don't have mobile. Mississippi is the only state that has legalized sports gambling that doesn't have mobile. Now, as a convenience aspect, Beau Rivage gives you the BetMGM, and they will transfer your balance, so you can play that when you're in the gaming area. It won't even work in your room. The strict geofence. But the prediction markets they are available, and the fantasy is available, like California, Texas, and Florida. What exactly are they? We see in the Kalshi advertisements everywhere right now. So until they get regulated and start to get their taxed, stuff. I know the sports books are calling for some fair competition regulations there. But have you caught those? The DraftKings app is available in all 50 states now.
Yeah, same with FanDuel as well. So both of them have these prediction markets now, where you can look at the sports book some, and of course they are limited what you can look at unless you're in a location where they have the sports book. I couldn't look at like NFL look at lines like they have up. I know they have them up, but I couldn't look at them today when I was for the show. I was going to look at some more good ones, but no, they just show like prediction markets, and I think I didn't try to make a wager on anything, but I assume you can make a real money bet on some of that stuff if you want to. So, that's something you can look at as far as FanDuel and DraftKings for, if you see something that whets your appetite there. But, I'm just kind of looking into it myself, and then getting used to some of these other apps I'm using, like NoVig and Kalshi and that kind of thing.
All right, man. Enjoy the concert. Don't tarps off. I don't want to see you, some video twirling your T-shirt above your head, for Jackal tonight. All right, so kind of behave yourself a little bit. All right, So
yeah, it's going to be a late one, be a fun one though.
Follow Randy on Twitter at RR39. Big Dog, you the best, man. Enjoy your night. Thank you. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, thanks, guys. Good luck, everybody out there.
Yes, indeed. Randy McKay, each and every Wednesday at this time.
And we are also brought to you by Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, helping you deal with pain. Dr. Michael Goff and his staff, you know what? When you got back pain, you got neck pain, you got muscle soreness, you got things that are keeping you from moving around like you'd like. Maybe they're keeping you from getting a good night's sleep. Let them help you out and get you into a program that will target these problem areas. They'll get you to feeling better, whether it be loosening things up with a series of exercises and stretches or adjustments that they can do for you, or you need to graduate into dry needling, electric nerve stimulation, cryo, or ultrasound therapy. Let them help you out. Louisiana Health and Injury Centers, Airline Highway, Plank Road, Jefferson Highway near Drusilla, Dr. Michael Goff, Louisiana Health and Injury Centers. Live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
About 20 minutes away from Major League Baseball, and as we got a pretty good afternoon slate. Jimmy, Yankees and Guardians go here in about 20 minutes.
I'm going to pass on this one. Yankees looking for a sweep. I like the rookie for Cleveland. We're talking about rookies hitting their first home run. The Yankees young star, because while Judge is out for 4 to 6 weeks, they need a little something. He goes yard, and 2 close games. They went. Jazz Chisholm used Aaron Judge's bat to hit the game winner last night.
Is that all it takes? You just use it? Judge, give it to me. You're not using it. Give it here.
Jazz is a piece of work. He doesn't know what outs there are sometimes. He's stealing the bat one time. But you kind of get what you get with Jazz Chisholm. But no, I'm going to pass on that one. I like the other one, Charlie, the early game. And I'm going to go.
Red Sox, Rays?
Yeah, Rays are looking for a sweep. I usually like to go with the sweeps. I just don't want to go against that young Cleveland pitcher. But I will go with the Rays here. Kind of hit a little bit of a little turbulence here after that unbelievable start. But it seems like they kind of get back. Lost some guys. And a guy named Drew Rasmussen is worth it as well. 3 ERA, under 1 whip, yes. In a closeout game, we talk about them, how they can win a lot of different ways with their speed, with their average, not just waiting on the long ball. It looks like the Tampa Bay has kind of regained some of their form that they've lost for like the last 2 or 3 weeks.
A couple other notes. Yesterday, Braden Montgomery, you remember that name from Texas A&M, the transfer from Stanford. Walk-off home run in his first Major League game. That's pretty good. Pretty good way to debut for the White Sox.
Hard to top that.
In the 10th inning.
Good luck surpassing that moment.
Lines have moved up a little bit on the totals for Washington. On Otter Locks, we've been riding them a little bit. I'm kind of picking my spots right now. They were fortunate to get some late runs and go over again last night with a 6-3 game. Do get a little bit more runs scored in the afternoon in the Bay Area than you do at night. We talked about number 1 team ERA in baseball, the Dodgers. Second most runs scored, the Dodgers. Number 1 run scored, the Washington Nationals. Dylan Cruz is still batting under 200. Right now he did get a walk in one of the key 3-run innings, but hopefully he can kind of get it going, man. Just trying to see, showed some signs in the minor leagues when they sent him down this year, but we're going to go over 8.5 in that Washington-San Francisco game. That first pitch is around 235, 240.
I don't think it rolls off the tongue. The Nationals are the leading scoring team in Major League Baseball, and the Pirates are number 5.
Yeah, that's great. And both are winning teams. Nationals 35-33. Pittsburgh 1 game over. Even with this 4-game losing streak, the Pirates are still 1 game over 500.
And we missed Skeens versus Ohtani by 1 day. Ohtani going for the Dodgers today against Pittsburgh. The last 4 games, he's given up 1 run. That's 24 innings worth. The Dodgers have won all 4 of those games. And not only, he's pitched 7, 6, 5, and 6 innings, but the Dodgers bullpen has given up 0 runs in any of those games. Man, so he's getting them deep into games. He's not giving up any runs, and the bullpen's picked him up. I know they got a big payroll, but it must be nice, huh?
Ohtani is, his ERA is still under 1.
By
it's like the third lowest. How many starts now for him? 8 this year?
Oh, no,
it's like the third lowest.
10.
It's 10.
It's got to be 11.
And third lowest ERA ever for this many starts. Ever. I got a little 22-1 on him to win the Cy Young. Come on, man. Don't. Come on. Let this guy from Philadelphia get hit a little bit, Charlie.
Well, he went
Sanchez.
51 innings consecutive scoreless. It came to an end.
I think it was 48 or something. It might have been 51.
I think it was
right around 50.
Yeah.
Right around 50. So he did. They did hold on to win Toronto. That's another bullpen that gave it up last night. Otterlocks went 0-3 in bases last night and lost 2 ninth-inning leads. 2.
Well, that means you do today. I'm going
Yes.
with you.
Yes.
Hour number 2, Scott Rabelais and Wes Reynolds with us from Modesto. Tacos, tequila, and whiskey live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Enjoying the finer things in life is his forte. Let's bring in Scott Rabelais from The Advocate.
And return here at Modesto, bring in Scott Rabelais, who has no trips to France planned this summer, as far as I know. Rab, how you doing?
Not France, but England. Gone in a couple
England?
weeks. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What, just sightseeing or just something on the agenda?
Flying to London and then a few days there, and then we're taking the Queen Mary 2 back. On the transatlantic,
wow.
Making the crossing.
So you're not gonna be available for the show for a couple of weeks. I got it. We'll put that down.
Scott, the World Cup's in the U.S. It's not in England.
Right.
Sure.
You have to travel this time.
But the you're right, of course. But the first night we get to London, England has a match against Ghana, I think. The team Jimmy said the U.S. would probably lose to, and he's right. So I'm going to find a pub somewhere and go watch a match with the
That'll be
soccer
great.
crazies. Looking forward to it.
Ghana has knocked us out in the past.
Yes,
they have.
I
knocked us out in
remember.
the past.
Rab, the big story in college athletics this week is around Brendan Sorsby, the Texas Tech quarterback. You wrote a column earlier this week. You were just as disgusted as many people were. Since you wrote that column, the Big 12 athletic directors have had a conference call, which I think was probably 15-1 against. Their presidents and their board chair are going to meet. The presidents meet tomorrow. And I'm sorry, the board meets tomorrow. The presidents meet next week at the Big 12. But we also know that the SEC, the Big 10, and the ACC have all had informal talks about basically what are we going to do about this. That's kind of what I'm getting. Because one way or another, this kid can't play college football in the fall. So what do you think is the next thing that happens here?
I hope. Well, I don't think anything would happen if there wasn't pressure brought to bear by the other members of the Big 12 or by other people from other conferences saying we're not going to schedule you in anything. And I've heard people say, well, yeah, you make it a cross-country team or the softball team, the Texas Tech suffer for, that's too bad. That's too bad. This is a bigger problem than one football player who made some bets that he shouldn't have. This is a much bigger problem. This is trying to win at all costs and not care about the consequences. So I hope that the pressure continues to come. And look, this somebody who can change all this, very very easily. And I would say Brent Yormark, but. That would be the president of the University of Texas, Lawrence Chovanec. Could do that and say, no, I don't care what. Like Kennesaw Mountain Landis, despite the ruling of judges, he can't play. He can't play the school. Stay enrolled in school. Get help for your gambling addiction, all that sort of stuff. But you can't play football, and hopefully enough pressure will be brought to bear that this will come to pass. Because the legal remedy, the appeal the NCAA filed, that's likely not to happen. I saw Jay Billis talking about this with Rich Eisen, and that's the wheels of justice move very slowly, and the legal process moves very slowly. That's not likely to be a remedy for this at all. It's going to have to come from people growing a spine and saying, this is a red line, he crossed it, and despite what the judge said, he can't play. And it's going to have to come down to Yormark or the Texas Tech president making that decision ultimately, I think.
Yeah, I saw the thing with Billis. He might be right that they win the injunction. The problem is the case is not scheduled to go until February, at which point this particular case is not going to be affected. It would affect future things. The head of the Big 12 board is the chancellor at Kansas, Doug Gerard. I was thinking that he could play the heavy here. He could make the league play the heavy. Could really push Yormack, the commissioner, in this direction to just ban him. That opens up another can of worms in that you're the Kansas chancellor. You want to sling arrows at Texas Tech when your head coach has had multiple level 1 violations against him. So you essentially start an entire war within the conference if you do that. But he does have an awful lot of support. I mean, this is 15-1 all day and all night if they vote that Sorsby can't play. They can. There's a lot of remedies that don't have to go to court. The Big 12 can talk about conduct detrimental to the league. They've got that club in their bag. The college football playoff could get involved and say, hey, if he plays, you're not invited. I admire that Georgia and Nebraska wanted to be the first ones over the wall on this thing with the scheduling. That could make a dent, but not for a long time, not between now and September. So I just really believe that one way or another he's not going to play. But I don't know who is going to play the biggest role in him not playing. But I just cannot imagine that he's going to get on the field in September.
I'm not as confident as you are, Charlie. I hope you're right. I certainly hope you're right because we've seen lots of people. You hit us all the time, especially when you go to the SEC spring meeting. We're going to have a focus group for this, and we're going to discuss that, and we're going to have a seance and all these kind of things, and it just moves so slowly. I mean, look, it's June 10th. And football season starts in less than 3 months. And, he's suspended for the first 2 games in the Abilene Christian. Charlie, you could quarterback one game, and Jimmy, you could quarterback the other one, and Texas Tech would still win those 2 games against Abilene Christian and Oregon State, I think. It's got to go that, quickly, and people, I don't know. I hope you're right. I just seen so much foot dragging and unwillingness to stand up and make the right decisions and be the go up in the room or the heavy, as you said, and just say no, he can't play. I hope that's right. The CFP also could come out and say the CFP committee could also say, Texas Tech is, if you play an eligible player, you're not going to play, and we consider him eligible. I don't think that's going to happen either.
Here's where my confidence comes in, Scott, and it's a little bit shaky, but nothing positive came out of COVID sports-wise except for one thing. It proved that these leagues can move quickly when they want to, which they almost never do. But COVID forced them, short of financial ruin, to reschedule things, to kind of make up things on the fly out of necessity. Outside of COVID, I've never seen the leagues move this quickly on anything. Maybe, was it Shabazz Napier that when UConn won the national championship said, I go to bed hungry every night? They moved that quickly on that. It's like, hey, hang on. Kids on scholarship shouldn't go to bed hungry, and they open the cafeterias up 24 hours. That and COVID, they moved really quickly when they wanted to. But there's not very many events. They moved pretty quick here in the last couple of days. There's wheels in motion, and that's why I think something will be done, because if he plays, you're crossing a Rubicon that I just don't know if college football can deal with.
No, you have to maintain the integrity of the games, and people say, well, he didn't bet on he wasn't betting on his team to lose or something like that. But there's prop bets, and you can get in a big hole, and you can open yourself up for extortion, basically. And that kind of thing, and it doesn't take much for a quarterback to do all that. So I hope this is going to turn out in a positive direction, because there's one silver lining to all this is that you're right. This might make people act quickly, and if this appears to be a rule, a line that is crossed, or a rule that is obliterated, then Congress needs to act, or there needs to be collective bargaining, and collective bargaining comes into this. There has to be real massive reform within college athletics brought on by somebody, and I think if there's a small silver lining to all this, it is that this could be the impetus to that.
Well, does this move that needle? Does this give the bill, not in its current form? In its current form, it has no chance. But with the markups, does this move it in the right direction? Does this help?
I think so. I do. That is something I'm optimistic about. Yes.
Yeah, I do too. That bill ain't going. I'll die on this hill. That bill ain't going anywhere as long as they're forcing all of its ramifications to be tied to the revenue share. The Big Ten and the SEC ain't sharing. They're not going backwards on their revenues to help college athletics. But if they can get past that, if they can get the money right, then they'll have a fighting chance. I agree with you. I think this gives it more of a chance. All right, Scott, we'll have a chance to visit with you a couple more times before you go across the pond. But enjoy the World Cup matches later this week. Thanks so much. Thanks a lot, Reb. We appreciate it.
We're over here at Modesto. With, don't forget our 4th of July specials. Man, last time we were here over at Modesto, it was for Cinco de Mayo. Big hit. And live music, the tents and the areas for indoors and outdoors here. It was a really fun event for Cinco de Mayo. But 4th of July is on a Saturday this weekend, so a lot of people will be taking that Friday off. We'll be taking that Friday off. We have off on that Friday, so we won't be at Rufino's that day. But 4th of July specials, $10 Modesto margaritas, $3 import and domestic beer cans. That includes Corona, Modelo, Dos Equis, Michelob Ultra. $10 dip trios. That's the queso, beans, and guacamole dips. Game day specials, including the brisket birria burger, the game day nachos, or the birria fries. And then if you are having a party, got a pool party, or you're going to somebody's house, something like that, 10% off all online orders. Must use the promo code America. So that's for gallons of margaritas, family and tailgate fajita party packs, taco bars, you name it. Just go to the website and $10 off, 10% off on online orders. Use the promo code America. 4th of July, get your gear, get your festivities set for here at Modesto.
Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From east, north to south, but we're heading west. It's Wes Reynolds from VSiN.
Well, okay.
From east, north to south, but we're heading west. It's Wes Reynolds from VSiN.
Wes, how you doing, buddy?
I'm well, Jimmy. How are you?
Good. A couple things before we get into the golf. First of all, Game 4 at the Garden tonight. Who you got?
Yeah, I like the Spurs again. I think that they're going to go back tied 2-2. And what I've been doing well with in this series is playing those Dylan Harper props, and I'm going to play him over again, especially on the rebound at 5.5. You got to lay a little big here, but they're starting to close with him, and then that's where I've been a little critical. It's like they were kind of, keeping one of their best players, I think, on the bench. And I know he's a rookie, but he's not a rookie anymore. And you're starting to see them have him on the floor at the end because he really is their best attacking guard. And you need a guard that's going to drive and attack to the rim. And Dylan Harper does that, I think, better than even a lot of the other good young guys that they have in the backcourt. So I think the Spurs, they found something. Wemby was kind of challenged, and Karl Towns was outplaying him, and that reversed in Game 3. And I like the Spurs again tonight, and I thought that this was going the distance. I still do. So we're going back 2-2, I think.
Are you paying any attention to the launching pad in Summerlin the past 2 nights? And now they adjusted it. Closing line, it opened 11.5, but it closed about 13.5. It fell 12, but 6 more home runs hit out at, Las Vegas Park near Red Rock?
Yes. Yeah, I played the over on Monday. I did not play it yesterday because you were starting to get the tax because it was kind of compressed very low. It was only 10.5. I say only 10.5. That's one of the higher totals again. But because they had Kyle Harrison on the mound for the Brewers. And Kyle Harrison's been an early Cy Young candidate in the National League with his ERA, and they chased him in the third. So, yeah, I watched that game Monday night where it's 15-14 in extras. But as always, markets adjust here. So, that I don't know if that's what's it's gonna be when the A's ballpark finally gets built, where the Tropicana Hotel and Casino used to be on the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Tropicana. But it's going to be like a little bit of a Coors factor here, in Las Vegas with the elevation. So if you're a pitcher, I wonder if you get drafted here to the A's, it's like, hey, I'm going to Las Vegas. Cool. Oh, my God, I got to pitch in that ballpark and have like a 6 ERA.
We've seen some of these Mexico City, obviously, with the elevation. But do you remember that 2-game set? It was right around COVID. Yankees and Red Sox in London when they were scoring in 30 runs.
It was 220 feet to left field or something. I'm exaggerating, but not by a lot.
It just
the dimensions were
crazy. It was a little tight.
It
was a little tight. LeMahieu had about 8 hits in those 2 games, but it's Harrison, and this is a 11th start. It was 11th start on Monday. His ERA went from 1.57 to 2.72. Thanks a lot, guys, for scheduling me on it. That's when you show up with I got a food virus or something. I mean, man, that is.
Yeah, can we have a bullpen game when it's my turn in the rotation out there?
Yeah, let's. That's a good spot for the openers, Coach. Come on, Skip. Let's go. Back-to-back manager of the year for the National League and former Arizona State coach Pat Murphy. And World Cup thoughts before we get to the golf.
Yeah, I'll probably be betting it, small just to have some interest. What I've really been enjoying are the people that are traveling overseas and following some of these accounts on X where there was this gentleman from Germany who was traveling through the South and, just marveling at the Buc-ee's. And he's like, this is a gas station. Oh, my God, and, eating the Southern food. I think he went to a game there at Jordan Hare the other night. I think Nessie was playing there.
It was last night, right?
Friendly. Yeah, in a friendly or an exhibition. And he's like, oh, my God, there's an eagle flying around the stadium. So it's kind of cool to see these Europeans, get a real slice of American Southern life. But in terms of, who I think could win the thing, France is one of the favorites. They're a team that I bet for small. And then the Netherlands is kind of a middle-ish long shot. I think I saw them 18-1, but I'll be betting it sporadically and certainly following it. So, look, man, it tides us over until we get to college football and the NFL. So I'm glad to have it actually this summer.
All right, the Canadian Open. Tommy Fleetwood is plus 1150. Just after that, Matt Fitzpatrick, Sam Burns, who, boy, he's in condition again. And how about that? What we on Sunday? About the turn, was it? Where we had a 6-way tie on Sunday?
It's quite interesting, yeah.
Yeah, on Sunday. And up in Jack's country. So, Max, did the course playing fine for you?
The course was fantastic.
Was it okay? Was it too hard?
Challenging.
Okay.
But there were birdies out there. 12 under was perfect.
Who we got, Wes?
Yeah, you mentioned one that I was tempted to play. I'm only going to play him for a top 20. I was actually on him last year, and that's your fellow Bayou Bengal, Sam Burns, who did lose in the playoff to Ryan Fox. But he's playing well. I did not bet him on the outright. I thought, in the low teens was a little bit low for a guy that hasn't won in a while that's certainly capable. So not on the outright, but definitely on a top 20 market this week. But I started with another guy who hadn't won in a while, and I think he might be getting ready to win, and that's Brooks Koepka in the low 30s, anywhere 30 to 33 to 1. Everything but the putting has really been in tip-top shape for him. The tee to green, the driving, the approaches. Now he's 136th in putting. That's got to change, but maybe he could have a spike week. Of course, going to Shinnecock for the U.S. Open next week, and the last time the U.S. Open was at Shinnecock, Mr. Koepka did win that back in 2018. So what a better way to return to Southampton with a potential Canadian Open win. So Brooks Koepka makes the card, as does Nikolai Højgaard, who's kind of cooled off a little bit from the early 2026 form, but he does have a couple runner-ups in the last 3 months at Houston and at the Truist. third in the field in distance, off the tee, fifth in tee to green, eighth in approach. I think this course should be perfect for him because you can attack this thing with the driver because you've got big, wide fairways. It's a par 70, just under 7,400 yards, and that's right up Nikolai Højgaard's wheelhouse. And you did mention the name Fitzpatrick, but I went with the younger Fitzpatrick, and a lot of the market likes him this week. Alex Fitzpatrick, who opened in the 40th to 1 plus range, and despite the fact that he's got, I believe, 6 top 10s in his last 7 worldwide starts, including a win at the Indian Open on the DP World Tour. He was 6th last week at the Memorial, 4th at the Truist, 9th at Doral. Top 5 is in this field over the last 24 rounds for strokes gained tee to green. And then another young gun in the game, Michael Scorebordson, 45 to 1. Big hitter off the tee. He plays very well in these low-scoring birdie fest type of events, and he has over the last couple of years. So Michael Scorebordson, 45 to 1. And then another Michael, who's a big hitter off the tee, Michael Brennan, in the 50th, 55 to 1 range. T6 last time out at Colonial. That was his best finish of the season. Remember, he won last fall on his PGA Tour debut at the Bank of Utah Championship. So he's another one of the guys, one of the longest hitters in distance off the tour. Also has good playing experience in Canada from his time on PGA Tour Americas. Won twice up north, actually, in 2025, and got a top 3 on this course 2 years ago. And then really quickly, the 2 long shots. Tony Finau, 70 to 1, good history up there in Canada, driving the ball really well. Second off the tee last week at the Memorial. And then speaking of Max Grazerman at 80th plus to 1, who did qualify for the U.S. Open on Monday. Last time out at the Nelson, first in ball striking, first in approach. Guy's got 5 runners-up over the last 2 years on the PGA Tour. He's knocking on the door for a win as well.
Couple guys you had there, Wes, at the end. I believe Tony Finau and Max Grazerman. I know Grazerman qualified. One of the things we had earlier this week is the longest day in golf. It's covered by the Golf Channel. This is essentially U.S. Open final qualifying, and you see a lot of these PGA Tour players that are not already exempt into the U.S. Open trying to get in. They're battling amateurs and old, professionals alike. I always struggle in this tournament because it's always right before Toronto or right before we go to the Canadian Open where you have these open qualifiers. Do you weigh any of these results where they're playing 36 holes of final qualifying? Do you weigh that in? Because it looks like a couple of your guys did end up qualifying from their U.S. Open qualies.
Yeah, I think if you do qualify, it's at least good momentum, Max. And it depends on the site. Like you mentioned, Grazerman. He played in one of kind of the easier sites in Purchase, New York, just outside of Westchester County in the city, and he elected to play there, and you did not have, like a lot of the PGA Tour guys that you had up there in Ontario, that you had in Springfield, Ohio, of course, near where the Memorial was played last weekend. So you had a lot of these guys, if you pick the right site and you can get out. So I do weigh that a little bit in terms of that, and guys obviously wanting to get in position and make that major because it takes a little bit of a pressure off them where it's almost like, okay, let's go win, let's go play well here, and then on to Shinnecock next week. So I think that could be nothing but a positive for these guys.
Did you weigh in as well? We've got quite a wind forecast, especially in the first 3 rounds. It looks like 10 to 20 mile an hour winds, gusts up to 30. I think it might play a little bit harder than last year, but was that any of your handicapping with these players as well? Maybe being a little bit harder than it was last year. Winning score was, I believe, 18 under par.
Yeah, a little bit, Max, because I think that's why you see, and if you look in the field outside of the obvious being a large Canadian contingent, you see a lot of European players in this field, and they usually like to play for the majors, and I think that benefits a little bit in terms of playing in more windy conditions, especially if they played some DP World Tour stuff so far, even though the European part of that schedule is now kind of more in the middle of the summer and into the fall. So I did weigh that a little bit. I'm not sure how much it's going to depress scoring. I still think it's probably going to end up being mid-teens here because you can miss a little bit off the fairway here because distance is going to matter, because these fairways are almost like 40 yards wide. So you can miss a little bit, even though they do have some penal rough, 4 inches, not quite U.S. Open, but it's going to be relatively penal. So I did put that a little bit in there. So it kind of looks like maybe the early late could be a good thing with the wind forecast in terms of the draw if you're looking at it that way. But I still think it's going to play where it's semi-scoreable, like mid-teens. It might not be quite to where it was last year.
Finally, Wes, this Stanley Cup Finals has had everything. All 4 games have gone over, so if you got action, all 4 games, both teams for the first time in Stanley Cup Finals history have scored at least 3 goals. Lead changes galore. Goalie change. I mean, everything. What are you thinking right now about LVK's chances?
Yeah, I think that they're obviously the underdog here with 2 or 3 down there in Raleigh. And Carter Hart, you mentioned. I've been getting a lot of the sides right, but certainly not a lot of the totals, man. I think, I'm just going to say be Roberto Duran and say no mas with betting any unders in this series because somehow, some way, they're finding ways to go over. And a lot of the reason is because Carter Hart, quite frankly, has been poor in the net for the Golden Knights. And to give up that many goals in every single game, I just think that, they could be in a little bit of trouble. You wonder if they've kind of hit a wall here because they were so great under Tortorella. But you've got a Carolina team that's been one of the best teams in hockey all year, and Vegas was a little bit fortunate to get in, and they have taken advantage of it. So I think Carolina's going to pull out the series, but who knows? This has been one of the wildest Stanley Cup Finals that you'll see.
If you're in center field in the pool, watch your head. In that baseball stadium, Wes, balls are flying out that park. I mean, they got that pool in center field. Man, that's dangerous territory. We appreciate it.
It's a beautiful park, by the way. It's a beautiful park out there in Summerlin by Red Rock. So head out there next time you're in town for an Aviators game.
I went. I've stayed out at the resort at Summerlin before. I've stayed at Red Rock before. How close is it to the where they play the PGA event?
It's about maybe 5 to 10 minutes away,
okay.
Because I had to go and get a bus from the Sun Coast, which is kind of across the street, and went out to TPC Summerlin. So it's a little bit west, probably about 10 minutes away, actually, from TPC Summerlin. So a lot of stuff out there, and that's obviously a growing area here in town.
Yes, it seems like it's a high rent district, to say the least. Follow us on Twitter at Wes Reynolds 1. Thank you, Wes. Good luck to you, buddy.
You bet, guys. Thank you.
All right, don't forget our friends at Go Chevrolet in La Paz, Go Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Plaquemine, Go Chevrolet West in Plaquemine, and Go Ford in Waveland. My buddies Lee Carney, Nick Richard, doing a great job at the Go Automobile Dealership family. When I was in the market for a new vehicle, I called my buddy Lee, and, man, he helped me. We went on the website, Chevrolet, kind of custom ordered my Tahoe. So that is an option that is available as well. Pre-owned vehicles, certified vehicles, gives you that peace of mind, gets the extension of the factory warranty when getting a pre-owned, a second-hand vehicle. If we don't have exactly what you're looking for, we'll utilize our nationwide area of resources to find you what you're looking for. Certified body shop, concierge service department is super convenient. Mention my name, Jimmy Ott, for VIP pricing. The Go Automobile Dealership family, Go Chevrolet Laplace, Go Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Plaquemine, Go Chevrolet West in Plaquemine, and Go Ford in Waveland. I don't just talk about the vehicles for the Go Automobile Dealership family. I drive a Chevy Tahoe from Go Chevrolet in La Place.
Live in Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Our Wednesday consensus golf picks are brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown.
Max, let's go to Canada.
All right, up to just north of Toronto, actually a good bit outside the city. Spieth is not playing, so I can't lose money on him. That's the good news. He does play in the U.S. Open next week.
Let's see your Spieth total against my Ricky Fowler total. That would be a close race.
Spieth's actually won some majors.
But did
so
you bet on him?
He's made me some money. Oh yeah.
Okay.
He's made me some money over the years.
Then you win.
He's one short of he's PGA short of the career
PGA
slam, right?
Career Grand Slam, yeah. And we're a week away from Scotty going for the Career Grand Slam at the U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills. So he's one leg away from his.
Scotty becoming Snotty Scotty?
He sure. It seems like it. He's got a reputation of getting a little whiny, a little ornery when things don't go his way.
No, kicking in his paper.
Went after his caddy, Ted Scott, from Lafayette. And, look, they have a good relationship. I don't think it's a big deal there. But, called him out for not getting the wind right on hitting in the water on 16 at Memorial on Friday. So, yeah.
He didn't hit the shot.
Look, I think what it does.
Well, he's telling him with club.
I know.
What it does tell me how rough he is around the edges, and he's been this way at times. It, to me, tells me that he doesn't feel comfortable that he's in the most form right now. You can just tell that he's not feeling it. And he's had moments earlier in the year, even before he won. We saw it at points last year. We were upset with the putter, where he would get a little whiny.
What's his percentage top tens this calendar year?
Oh, I mean, he's still
basically. Has he missed one?
He's missed a few as of late. He finished top 12 last week.
Well, that's not top. That's a 10.
12, so
what's top 10 record?
He has come top 10 in
5 of 8, maybe.
7 of 11.
7 of 11
this year. It looks like.
Okay.
So still 7 of 12 actually.
Anything to the idea with the Open coming up next week and that being the career Grand Slam that the pressure's starting to mount on him a little bit, just in his head?
I think it's just frustration that he won 6 times last year and he's only won once this year.
That's it. He's not. His form is not. I mean, come on, man. We're talking about Scotty, the odds board looking like Tiger, in his prime, and it was going. We're talking about without markets.
Right.
You got to just bet. If you want to sweat, you got to bet without. It's not been the case, man. And then we're saying just, hey, he's top 5 or top 10. You just throw him in and you parlay, and that's not the case now. He's almost missed. He's basically laying a little juice to be top 10 most of the time.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Top 5 sometimes he's laying.
So if he's missed 5 out of 12,
to be fair to him, 7 of 12 top 10s. It's actually 7 of 10 7 to 12 top 5s. So he's always been right there in the mix when he's done it.
Okay.
He has 3 runners up already this year.
He's saying right there, but some of these are late charges when he's kind of out of it.
Yeah, sometimes.
Thursday's been a problem.
But he's been in the mix. Yeah, Thursday's a lot.
Okay.
But, yeah, he's mostly been, I would say, in the
conversation. Come on, little Spieth. Let's go.
All right, going to start off this week. Canadian Open, they typically move this tournament around, but this is the second straight year they're going to be at Osprey Valley. And I would kind of throw last year's results out the window a little bit. We almost had a consensus pick last year in Sam Burns. I was on him as well. He missed a 4-footer on the last to win the tournament, lost in a playoff to Ryan Fox. But I'm going to kind of throw out the course history here because I think the wind's going to be a factor, and that's something I'm looking for. Lower ball flight, lower spin rate. I think the higher you hit the ball, you're going to have problems with this wind kind of blowing your ball around. So I'm going to start my card with a little bit of risk here and take Colin Morikawa at 25-1. He's been dealing with the back injury since the Players' Championship. It was a bummer because he was in such good form, and he followed it up with some pretty good results, even trying to go through the back injury. Last week, he did not play at Jack's Place because reportedly his first child was on the way. So maybe a little baby swag. I assume that the child has been delivered at this point. I don't know if that's a bit of a distraction, but I think this is a number play. He's 25-1 in this field. He's oftentimes like 20-1 at major championships. So 25-1 in a much weaker field, I think is a good number play on Colin Morikawa. Justin Rose is 30-1, another player who just earlier this year, I think he was about 35-1 at the Masters. Now he's 30-1 at a Canadian Open, and he's got back-to-back good finishes. 10th at the PGA Championship, 12th last week at the Memorial. He's finding his form once again with his irons. He switched his irons, of course. That was a big talking point going to McLaren Golf. But nevertheless, he's gained on approach in his last 2 events. So he's starting to find things, and I think he's a good player at 30-1 in the Canadian Open. Alex Fitzpatrick, 40-1. Man, what a way to parlay that Zurich Classic Championship. He's since gone back. 9th at the Cadillac, 4th at the Truist. He made the cut but finished 75th at the PGA. And last week, I had him top 20, plus 275. One of the few winners I've hit this year. He finishes in 6th place. So he is an elite iron player. He finds fairways. He's a low enough ball hitter. I think he'll flight it in the wind. He's from England, so he should be used to that. So Alex Fitzpatrick, maybe he breaks through with another PGA Tour victory. He's 40-1 this week. Eric Cole is 45 to 1. Not someone I play a whole lot because he's never won on the PGA Tour and frankly leaves a little bit to be desired when it comes down the stretch. But he was very close at the Charles Schwab Challenge, lost in a playoff, and frankly did not choke that one away. Just got beat by Russell Henley. His iron play has been outstanding. He's a good putter. Everything's working for him right now, and I think his short game will survive when the wind blows it off the green. He'll be able to get up and down. So Eric Cole, a good play this week at 45 to 1. Davis Thompson, 90 to 1. That's one of the players that did win his qualifier for the U.S. Open, so he is in the U.S. Open, feeling good. He's traveled in for this tournament, starting to play a little bit better. Has won in the Midwest. He won at the John Deere Classic, also finished runner-up at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. Midwest golf, kind of similar grass types to what you'll see this week in Toronto. So Davis Thompson at 91. Go Dogs with him. And then Zach Bauchu, 140 to 1. Bauchu, I've been playing a little bit as of late because his form is pretty good. He's hitting his irons well, top 25s in his last 4 starts, and actually played in the Canadian Open back in 2018 and 2019. Obviously a different golf course, but he was once on the PGA Tour, spent some time in the lower levels, and is now having a pretty good season this year. So Bauchu at 141 I think is worth a shot. So Morikawa, Rose, Alex Fitzpatrick, Eric Cole, Davis Thompson, and Zach Bauchu, my 6 outrights for this week at the Canadian. And since I hit a top 20 last week, Stephen Fisk is plus 333, including ties, top 20.
Who'd you have after Fitzpatrick?
Cole, Davis Thompson, Zach Bauchu. And like I mentioned, Stephen Fisk, anywhere between 3 and 3 plus 350.
So what's Alex Fitzpatrick is our consensus?
That's right. He's our common pick. Both Wes and I have Alex Fitzpatrick. You can
earn
find
his
him
card, huh?
40
to get his exemption, huh?
to 1. He's got exemption. I think he's backed it up. I think people are going to be a little hush hush about how he got a free PGA Tour card at the Zurich Classic. I think it's been worth it for the PGA Tour.
I mean, I don't know what it's kind of a. Between Golden Tempo and Alex Fitzpatrick, huh, Charlie? I mean, validating their, their flukish or their gimmick wins, huh?
Alex Fitzpatrick, it was so easy to just say that he got carried by, but he didn't. If you watch that tournament, and the only reason I watched it was in New Orleans. If it had been the Vancouver Open, I probably wouldn't have paid any attention to it. But we actually watched, and not only did his brother not carry him, there were times where he was the main contributor. So I can understand where you would, if you're looking at the outside and you say, well, he's piggybacking, but we didn't really get a whole lot of that once he came
now,
back
be
the
careful
next week.
now. I mean, because you could kind of finagle, how many shots you use, I think I used even 1 or 2 of mine when I played with Max.
We did.
Okay?
We did use
All right, so
Max was in the men's room?
No. Let's
just let me putt first or something.
Okay, yeah, right.
Chip or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
a little 5-footer, we got to make those.
Right.
Yeah. Be careful on that, Charlie.
Alex Fitzpatrick now is 73rd ranked player in the world. Better if you look at some of the rankings.
And that team win, no matter what you think, it should count for something for his ranking, which it does not.
It does not.
It counts 0. They got other guys that have a ranking in the top 75 that they beat.
Yeah.
Data Golf has golf rankings. They have him 42nd. The FedEx Cup standings right now, he's 20th. And remember, he didn't play for much of the PGA Tour season.
But what was the tournament that, on Saturday he was on fire? And he lost on Sunday. I think he still finished top 5.
The Truist. The Truist at Wells Fargo.
No, that was like a week or 2 after.
That was a couple 2 or 3 weeks. Yep.
I mean,
2 weeks after.
But no, Charlie, you're right. I watched it too, and he more than held his own.
But that's
the other better if you shoot 85 under. What did they win? What's the score at Avondale? Was 84 under? 85?
Something like that. Yeah, it was egregiously low. Ball in hand, they're going to light that place up. But another thing to consider is his 3 top 10s since the Zurich, he's only played in elevated events or a major. This is his first normal PGA Tour event. So he's been going up against the big dogs. Now he gets a chance. There's no Scheffler. There's no Rory. So he's doing great in these elevated events. Now he goes down. So I think if you told me that Alex Fitzpatrick would be 40 to 1 in the Canadian Open before the year started, I would have looked at you like you were crazy. But the odds fit the way he's playing.
So has he done enough to participate to all the majors now?
He is qualified for the U.S. Open. He is not qualified for the Open Championship, but
British,
he's on track to get there based on some of the rankings.
Next year's Masters.
I believe.
No, you don't get a ticket on that deal.
Not on the Zurich.
No.
I don't think you
What
get
does
in.
he have to do?
But he has to get in the top 50 of the world golf rankings right before. He's 73rd.
He could win a tournament. He could win a tournament. That would do it.
PGA next year.
Top 5 in a PGA next year.
I believe he's exempt in the PGA.
Okay, so he's got the next 4, the 2 remaining this year, and the first 2 next year. He's qualified for 2.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, and if he comes top 5 in either of the Opens, he gets a Masters invitation.
Is he running the Breeders' Cup at Keeneland?
Well, I say he was qualified. He was exempt in this year's PGA, so next year he'd have to earn his way in because he did get his way in the PGA through that.
Counterpoint, we haven't heard. Chris Mad Dog Russo crushing the AD's reaction to the Sorsby deal. I'll tell you that a little bit.
Colin Cowherd as well joined him. I saw the same thing.
But don't forget our golf consensus reports each and every Wednesday at this time. Brought to you by our friends at Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown. Your law firm for a lifetime, 343-1111 and ocbrown.com. Both Charlie and I have used Dana's specialized team of attorneys for different reasons at different stages of our lives. He truly is our law firm for a lifetime, and we do not hesitate to recommend them to anyone else. Whatever it is, getting a traffic accident, I mean, just like, my dad passed, had to do some of that stuff and the secessions and all that stuff. So I wouldn't know where to start if I didn't have Dana's assistance for these type of things over the different stages of our lives. 343-1111. Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown and ocbrown.com.
Live at Modesto, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Modesto on Burbank on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Also brought to you by the Thibodeau Store. The anniversary sale is now underway. Starting yesterday, actually. This Friday special events day at the Lockport store, demonstrations from vendors.
That's what I want, Charlie. I want to see some demonstrations on how to use these tools. Charlie.
Milwaukee, from Costa Sunglasses. They're doing some demonstrations. They're doing some giveaways with that. Swamp Buckets, the Cajun Ninja Cooking.
I don't need to just play on the swamp. I know how to boil seafood.
In Pierre Park, they're going to do this on Saturday. Bring the kids out. They've got face painting. They've got cartoon characters. They're doing a cookout there, crawfish stew, white beans, bread and potato salad for just $6. Milwaukee, DeWalt, Country Clipper mowers will be there. Pittman Creek Fishing will be there. Robert Butler, who is a children's book author, will be there signing books. Believe me, there's going to be a ton of stuff going on. And so many different bargains as we get ready for Father's Day.
Up to 40% off on channel lock equipment, whether everything from a shop vac to extension cords, man. I mean, you talk about awesome stuff, man. And anniversary sale. This is awesome. Right? Just in time for Father's Day. How about that?
And go to all 4 websites to get more information, or all 4 sites go to one website at thethibodeaustore.com. So check that out as we get into the anniversary sale. 115 years, Jimmy. They're doing something right.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Who's doing stuff right tonight?
They've been doing it longer than the current Triple Crown format's been around. A lot longer.
Yeah, but
yes.
More than twice as long.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna give you my pick for tonight.
Who you got? Your first quarter pick was a rocket chair, Charlie.
I'm gonna
on
come
the Spurs.
back. I thought that the Knicks would come out overhyped and tight the other night, and that's why I went with the Spurs in the first quarter. Flipping sides tonight, I think the Knicks come out focused, aggravated about how they, things finished up on Monday night. Look, the Garden's still going to be hopping, but it's not going to be all the distractions from the other night. They got that out of their system. I think they come out focused tonight. Knicks -1.5 in the first quarter, plays plus 114 from friends at Bet Rivers. So that's my pick tonight.
I like the Knicks to bounce back. They were distracted. As mature and everything they've done has been so perfect, but they got away from what they've done. Their ball movement was not the same. They went back into last year's kind of Brunson, slowing it, ball dominant type of stuff. That's why their assists, they had less assists than their opponent for only the second time in this 14-game run. And the only time was when they were completely off for 40 minutes against Cleveland. All 3 games in this final, team has more assists, they win the game. Team has less turnovers, 3 for 3. They win the game. So they were sloppy. And not only did they have less assists in San Antonio, they had 10 less, 28-18 in the assist category. They need to get back. Brown doesn't need to whine about the officiating. He needs to wake up and see that they need to pound the ball to Karl Anthony Towns when Wemby's not on him. And down low, Keldon Johnson. He's got to take it. Keep in mind, Karl Anthony Towns has had such an impact on his series, and he has not scored a point in the fourth quarter in Game 1, Game 2, or Game 3. And what's up with that? We know that Brunson's your closer, but man, especially when they don't have him on him, you can't let Wemby sag off a heart and still protect the paint. You can't have that. I like the Knicks to bounce back, and it was a coronation. It was just a big party. They might be a little tight, be back to business and grinding a little bit for the Knicks in Game 4 tonight.
All right, thanks.
Max?
Yep.
I'll zag. I'm going to go with Spurs. I think they win the series, and I think they have to win it tonight. Wemby's a great leader. He's calling out. I like Spurs.
I will say this, but the point spread value is still adjusted. If this was a month ago or the beginning of the playoffs, Spurs would be a pick 'em or maybe even a point. So Knicks 2.5.
Check out Modesto 4th of July specials coming up, and we will stay tuned for Hunt here. He'll have more on Notre Dame outfielder Bino Waters committing to LSU baseball out of the transfer portal. Have a great day.